of Armenian people in 1915, and there was actually a memorial event, and the Armenian ambassador from Berlin was also there, and the media didn't really cover this much. And we were talking yesterday about that you're really frustrated that the media in general isn't really talking about Armenia. So I would really like you to talk about what's going on in Armenia right now, especially because at the end of the film you also wrote down what was going on after the last scene. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Thank you. Armenian genocide in 1915 was in Western Armenia, not only in Istanbul. It was the biggest part of Armenia, and it was the big part of genocided people, 500,000 Armenians, but there was also another people like Kurdish people and Greeks and the day before Armenian Genocide Remembrance Day, April 24, I think it was on April 23, Erdogan said that Armenians need to forget about this made-up narrative. So they are completely not moving to the side of accepting the genocide, and world isn't also pressing them to do that. But it's especially terrible because a few months ago, in September of 2023, there were ethnic cleansings in Artsakh, and it's considered as a second genocide, ethnic cleansing this time, of Armenians. In between, there were another thing like Sumgait in Azerbaijan in 80s. But now Armenia is in a very terrible, dangerous situation. It's probably very big, and war is coming because the southeast part of Armenia, Sunnik region, and it is sovereign territory of Armenia. There is passing the historical Silk Road, which everybody wants to have. Azerbaijan wants it, Turkey wants it, Turkey helps Azerbaijan. Turkey helped also on 2020 war, which is considered as a new type, new era war, with this flying on human, without drivers, these things, flying things. And also they were bringing some jihadists, helping Azerbaijan to bring jihadists through Turkey. And this southeast part also wants Russia. One of the reasons is to keep the hand on that region. So Europe wants it because it's a shortcut and for cheap Azerbaijani gas, and also they need to give something to Azerbaijan to have this cheap gas. And also US wants it because they want to put their army, because it's board with Iran, so they want to put army under the board of Iran. So it's a terrible situation. Nobody talks about that. World forgot already Artsakh people being ethnically cleansed, and even during these 2 years in the Soviet territory of Armenia, there were terrible things like when Azeris were taking some villages, when they're making short wars. For example, in Jermuk, they tortured women soldiers. They raped, tortured, cut it apart the body, and left like that. Not only one woman, they tortured lost children because after 9 months of blockade of Artsakh, when people were hungry without medicine, they started bombing them, and during this situation, when people needed to run away, some children were lost, and they tortured and killed also children. So yeah, sorry, I went too long on this. I don't know what will be, but we are under danger. Nobody talks about this, and I feel like we are forgotten.
Thank you for telling us all that. Maybe if we stay a little bit more on the political topic, the Armenian Prime Minister offered you financial support for your movie before it was finished, and you refused the prize. Maybe you can also talk a little bit about that.
It's not the prime minister who offered it. It was working progress screening during Golden Apricot Film Festival, and I didn't know that on the end. I knew there is going to be some prize on the end that they will choose from films, but I didn't know what kind of prize it is, and I refused it because I was trying to think about the parents who lost their sons during this war, and I felt that a lot of them can see also Armenian Prime Minister, one of the reasons that they lost their child. And also, it was very important for me to not put this film under any political overtone. It was very, very important for me because this film by itself is very political. That wasn't the thing that I wanted to achieve, but it is political. So I don't need anything else, and don't need to be spoiled with something like that.
Maybe one more question and then you can ask away. How does it feel to have such intimate moments being shown on the big screen? What does that to you? How are you feeling about that? Is it sometimes even difficult?
I don't feel anymore anything. I mean, that passed because I had a lot of festivals already. Maybe I had a bit felt hesitated before the world premiere at ITFA, before sending them the DCP, and maybe before the screening. But I think maybe more I was worried that DCP will not work on the first screening. Even I checked it 2 times. I don't know. Maybe I had long time for. I was filming a long time. I was editing, thinking on it. I was watching the material over and over again, and I think I had enough time to put my own feelings away because it was very important to show this film, and everything else what I was feeling, every scares, fears, everything I needed to put away. So I was doing that.
Does anyone have a question?
Did your family see the film and how did they react to it?
Are you sleeping on my bed, Barbara?
My mother have seen the rough cut and also the final film. My father have seen also only rough cut. My mother fight it with me after watching the final cut because at first rough cut was ending with my father working in the dark room, and then there was video from my brother's last concert before going to army. But it was very tough decision for me as a sister, but as a director it was very important decision to not put that material into the film because first of all my brother is already absent, so I shouldn't show it, show him, and then it was very important to make this film for everybody who is going through any war. So yeah, it is my family and me in the film, but it is for all the people and about every people who is going through wars, and it is also to share their pain and to show them, if somebody will watch this film, to show them that there is somebody who understands them and feel the same pain, and that they do not feel alone.
Anyone else?
I didn't understand something in the movie that you shape your head, and then so did you actually go to the army, or was it just and
Thank you. No, it's my skin was terribly in pain because of the stress. So I couldn't. At some point, I couldn't anymore move my head. When my hair were moving, I was feeling pain. So I went and told my hairdresser, "Do you think this bald head will be good on me?" Because yes, cut it.
You film in your home with your parents, and you spend a lot of time with them. And I was wondering, how much material did you have, and when did you decide to take out the camera? Was it just some crucial moments where something happened, or were you filming much more?
Thank you. I have 100 hours of material, or maybe more. But the big part of the material I filmed in first 5 months. After that, it is that days when we are getting the first news of finding his bones and DNA, first DNA answer. After that, there are some moments when something is happening, but it is not cinema anymore. You can write about it, you can tell about it, maybe, but it's not cinema. So cinema was gone, and I started editing, and my editor was at some point was like, "No, I'm done with this film. It's finished. You need to send it to festivals." But I wasn't agree with him, and I also asked some professionals from Armenia to watch, because at first when I had the rough cut, I didn't know what is this. I wasn't sure even is it a film or no. So I asked them to come and to watch it, and I got some feedbacks, and I felt that actually it helped me a lot listening their feedbacks, because I understood that I don't agree with anybody, and there is something inside of me. I don't know what is it, but I need to go after that. And this inner feeling also pushed me to wait and wait, and even people were telling me, "You need to show the film. It's important. Everybody know about the war." And I waited for a year and a half. I didn't know what will happen. And then, and in that period, I was going into depression, hung up, and also I was trying to take my brother's bones for sending to DNA in Europe. It was very long and tough process. And then when this already third DNA analysis came from Germany, my parents forced me to bring home bones, and when I brought, I felt that I need to film. And when I was filming, at some point I understood that this is the end of the film. I was waiting for this. There was one material only which I deleted intentionally, by knowing that you can't delete anything, but for me there is some, it was not on this last part, but before. For me there is some line which you can't cross, because and it doesn't matter people are living right now or they are not, but there is some line for me. And the more scene what you're seeing on the end, you can see that there is some moment when I'm saying that, oh, I don't know, I didn't know, we didn't know that there was so much body, because we really didn't know, and I didn't know that I will go to morgue to film. I normally in Armenia women aren't allowed to go to morgue, and they are not. It's just it's not something bad. It is because women are giving life. They are giving birth. So the women in the ages who are able to give birth, they are kind of protected to see how life is going under the ground. And also we shouldn't see how body is put in the during. But I went with my father and other men, and some moment my father called me and said, because they were showing some bones with the coats, that same bones, and another bones, and called me, told me, can you take photos? And I started filming. And when I was filming, they said, like, let's go inside, there is more. And yeah, I filmed, and I think the workers of morgues, they were thinking I'm crazy, and maybe it's helping me to go through this. So they let me and to film. Like normally they wouldn't let to film. Yeah.
Hello, thank you for the film. You mentioned that you had a dilemma whether you should include or not some footage in the end. For me, it was kind of unusual and unexpected also to see sorry if it's too direct question, the bones themselves in the film. So did you think about, was it also some kind of dilemma, or you were sure that you wanted to show them?
When I was filming that scene, when my parents have bones in their hands, I was thinking that, like, why I'm doing this. And also I was thinking about the shot. Should I bring up to their faces? But no, I was feeling again, my gut was telling me, don't do that. And no, I was, maybe I had this feeling that how will the people will watch it, but I understood that it is necessary to show. I know that it is very heavy, but in this film you're seeing maybe 10% through what we've done, and it was necessary to put that in the film. And because this film isn't, like, it is on, about the war, but it is not the this how to say, it is more about grief which gives war, and yeah, that was the part of the grief.
All right, so unfortunately there's another screening in this room, so we need to finish this round, but maybe if you like to stay a little bit more, if anyone has any questions, you can maybe meet outside, but thank you very much for coming.